Hey everyone, this is Dean with DCA Crypto. It's been a rough few weeks in the crypto markets here. I want to show you where we're at in this cycle, very possibly here, and what's going to happen in the near future. So I'd appreciate if you subscribe to my channel, smash that like button, and let's jump into it. All right, today I'm going to be covering some different things on my channel. I want to show you where we could be at in the bull market cycle here. Bitcoin has fallen below the bull market support band. What does this mean for the bull run here? Is the bull run just beginning? Is the bull run over? So let's jump into it here and see what we think could be going on. All right, so currently we are at 2.2 trillion market cap. Bitcoin is up around 57, almost 58,000. It's been fluctuating a lot the last several days here. This is as of this recording, guys, so anything can happen between when I'm recording this and when this video comes out, so keep that in mind. But Ethereum over 3,000. We do have the ETH ETFs possibly coming up here by the 15th of July. Right now, they're finalizing the paperwork on this. The SEC asked them to make some quick, adjustments to the paperwork for the filing, and they're supposed to have that submitted, I think, by the 12th. And then we could possibly see the ETFs go live on the 15th. We'll have to keep an eye on how that goes and how that affects the market here. So Bitcoin in the bull market support band. If you guys watch Benjamin Cohen, if you don't, I highly recommend that you do. He knows way more about this stuff than I do. He's been in crypto for, probably like a decade or so now. And he knows a lot about the financial markets, all the different charts with Bitcoin, how these different indicators out there with the bull market support band, the Bitcoin dominance with altcoins, and how the interest rates affect the markets, how the USDT dominance affects the markets. He goes into all that into great detail, a lot more detail than I can do. So I recommend you watch his videos. Again, it's Benjamin Cohen. He doesn't know everything. Nobody knows everything about crypto, okay? All we can do is speculate based off of information that's out there. But Bitcoin has fallen below this bull market support band. This is an indicator in TradingView that kind of indicates whether we're in a bull market or not. Once it's fallen below it, that can be a bad sign, but doesn't mean the bull run is over. Not necessarily. But we have fallen below this, and we really need to hopefully recover here soon. And if we don't, we could keep coming down further into this and have some more pain in the market. That doesn't mean that the bull run is over, though. Let's go look at the history on this for the previous bull cycle, just to give you an idea on this and what it could mean, what it could do. Now, in the middle of the last bull run here, this is 2021, we came up here, we hit like 65,000, we came crashing down hard in May of 2021, and we fell below this bull market support band really low, and then we went sideways for a few months, and then in July, the end of July, we started picking up again, and we had a big correction here in September, and we took off to a new all-time high in November of 2021. That was pretty much the end of the bull run here. We got a fake out here, a bull trap here, and then we crashed down. So just because we've fallen below this doesn't mean that the bull run is over. We'll likely pick up again, but does that mean we're only going to go up a little bit higher? No, it doesn't mean that either, because if you look back here in the middle of the 2019 cycle here, this is the 2017 cycle here. We came down into this bear market. We came up and got to like 3/4 of the way of this all-time high with this cycle here. So if we spread this out, take a look at just this here and focus on this. Let's zoom in here and see what happened here with this. So the last bear cycle, a couple of bear cycles ago, we ran up pretty hard here in the middle of this bear cycle, and people probably thought that the bull run had started here, and then we came tumbling back down in like September, like basically from June all the way down here. So we're a little bit like a month or so behind this in this cycle. We started a little bit early, but fell below it here, and then we kept going down, and then right here we started coming back up above it towards the end of right in the beginning of 2020, toward in January, we started going back above this, and then we had the COVID crash here that threw us below it, but we ended up recovering and coming back up above it. So we may be in the middle of a cycle like here, and we may come up into a big screaming bull run with this later on into the end of 2024 or into 2025. So it doesn't mean that the bull run is over. It just may mean that this part of the cycle where we've been in a bullish period for a while is over, and now we're in that summer slump, as they call it, where we're just selling off in the summer, having a correction on Bitcoin because we pumped super early with this Bitcoin ETF. So doesn't mean the bull run's over. We'll just keep a close eye on this and see what happens over the next few months here and then the end of this year. It's really going to depend on what happens with the interest rates. Right now, the Fed has decided to continually pause interest rates. They're not lowering them yet. But as Benjamin Cohen has pointed out as well, typically if they do lower interest rates, Bitcoin does have a correction after that. So we could see more correction coming later this year if we get the interest rates lowered. So keep that in mind. Jump into the crypto fear and greed index here. We're currently at a 27 or 28. Yesterday was a 27. This is yesterday as I'm recording this, so it could be different a little bit by the time this video comes out and fluctuate a little bit. So keep that in mind. But we finally are trying to get down to this red zone. Really, once we get into this red zone, that's when we see the pain, and hopefully we can get that over with and start into a new cycle here where we have some bullish sentiment with it. So jump into this article from Decrypt. This is the Ethereum ETFs here. They're saying Ethereum will soar against Bitcoin after the ETF approvals. K33 Research claims this. The first claims Ethereum should break out from its stubborn resistance against Bitcoin over the next few months as ETF investors pile in. So they're thinking that the Ethereum ETF could cause ETH to take off once this launches here in the next week or so. So they're saying here, Ethereum is primed to mount a comeback against Bitcoin this month after underperforming its sibling cryptocurrency since the start of the year. According to K33 Research, on the other hand, the leading smart contract platform is poised to receive its first listed spot exchange traded fund or ETF in July, inviting a tidal wave of new institutional demand into ETH. Meanwhile, Bitcoin holders are waiting 141,000 Bitcoin distribution from Mt. Gox, and they've been kind of dumping this a little bit of this into the market. I don't think they're done with that as well. Same with Germany. They've been dumping Bitcoin into the market as well and selling it off and causing the price on it to crash on it. Though the crypto market has lost much of its bullish momentum since April, they've maintained the idea that the Ethereum ETFs will absorb between 0.75 and 1% of all ETH in circulation within their first 5 months in the market. Though the ETF launch could sell the news event, like Bitcoin's ETFs did in January, ETH's positive supply dynamics will afford it relative strength over the next several months. ETFs are a solid catalyst for relative ETH strength as the summer progresses and flows accumulate. And then they're saying firmly view the current ETH BTC prices as a bargain for the patient trader. The ETH BTC ratio steadily declined after the Bitcoin ETFs launched down to 0.046 by May 24th. That's when a surprise news broke that the SEC would soon approve Ethereum ETFs, taking the ratio back up to 0.055 as of this article. And this was, back on July 2nd. But as I talked about in my videos before, Bitcoin went up substantially in price over the course of several months after their ETF was approved, and they had a lot of selling pressure from the ARC21 shares, I believe it was, or one of the shares was selling off recently with the Bitcoin ETF as they were converting those shares over. So we don't have that selling pressure with ETH per se like we did with Bitcoin when its ETF was approved. So, and it is a smaller price per token, so you may see some investors jumping into it because they may think it's more affordable compared to Bitcoin. So kind of keep that in mind as well. That may help the Ethereum ETF do well over the course of the next few months after this approval. So you could see a spike in price with Ethereum, but it's really going to depend on how the market does and the market sentiment. So keep that in mind as well. But I would expect that ETH over the long-term period should do pretty well with this ETF approval. You also have talks of the Solana ETFs as well. There's a bunch of ETFs, spot ETFs for Solana that have been applied for recently. So over the course of this upcoming bull run here, if Solana ETF gets approved, that could be very bullish for crypto and Solana as well. So you could see a Solana ETF get approved here in the next few years. The filing on it is kind of timed where the new president should be in office before that approval would come through. So we'd likely have hopefully a different SEC chair in office when that happens, which could spark the approval of the Solana ETF, spot ETF approvals in the new presidency. Because right now it's probably looking like Biden's going to lose this election. As of right now, anyways, anything can happen between now and November when the election occurs. So keep that in mind as well. So we'll keep an eye on that, because that's going to kind of determine the turnout for crypto regulation in the upcoming years here and how it could affect this bull run potentially. So let's jump into the Bitcoin rainbow chart here. So the Bitcoin rainbow chart, as you can see, we are just touching this dark green area. If you go back to this previous bear cycle here, we did come up in the yellow as well, like we did here. And this curve has been corrected as well to kind of adjust for these new cycles, because, you know, with these new cycles, they had to adjust this curve a little bit because it is going to be different from early on, because it takes more liquidity in the market to push these prices up higher. So keep that in mind. So basically here, we came up in the yellow, and then we came all the way down to the bottom of this green zone before we started pushing up again. And then we had the COVID crash. So you kind of have to ignore this black swan event, because, you know, that hopefully won't happen again. So but, you know, we came all the way to the bottom of this green zone and actually touched the blue here before we took off again. So the potential to do that before the end of the year is there. And if that happens, that's going to probably get us to, you know, the low 40s with Bitcoin if this were to happen. So the potential to get down to like 44,000 with Bitcoin, it's there. It doesn't mean it will happen. You know, every cycle is a little different, so we have to keep that in mind. We may just take off from here. We don't know what's going to happen, but it's just a reminder, you know, that even if we come down into this dark green and blue area, that we can still take off into a bull run after that, as we have in the previous cycles here. So keep this in mind. It doesn't mean the bull run's over. We haven't gotten up into this orange or red zone according to this arc of the rainbow chart here. We didn't even get close to it. So hopefully this is just a cooling off period, and then we'll pick up off into a bull run at the end of this year or into 2025. So we'll kind of watch this and see what happens with it. But just keep in mind that, you know, the cycles are different. They're similar, but they're different each cycle. So we really don't know what's going to happen. But all signs are pointing that we could have a sell-off here in the near future and have some further correction in the market. It might be a bumpy ride, but hopefully once that's over with, we will kick off into a bull run at the end of this year or into 2025. We'll have to see what happens here, but I'm just kind of stockpiling my crypto as I get extra funds and put some more in on these coins that are affordable right now and at rock bottom prices, in hopes that we take off into a big bull run later this year so I can capitalize on those gains with that. But please hit the like button. If you haven't hit the like button, it really helps get this out to more viewers. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. And I try to get these videos out to you guys daily and get useful, helpful information out there for you guys. And I also help point you to, you know, other chart analysts and stuff that know more about charts than I do and about the financial markets, to really help you get a bigger picture of what's going on, because you don't want to just take any one person's knowledge for anything that you're trying to do with your investments. And definitely don't take my advice for your investment information. I'm just sharing with you guys my thoughts, my ideas, and what I'm doing to hopefully become financially free in this upcoming cycle here, guys. I really appreciate all of your support. If you're interested in joining my Telegram, it's absolutely free. You can join that. The link will be in the description below and the pinned comment as well. And you guys can join my Discord through Patreon. That's also in the description and the pinned comment as well. Like I said, that's through Patreon. You can join that Discord. We have a fantastic community in both of those channels. the Telegram and the Discord. And with the Discord, I try to help people get into these crypto projects and stuff early before they even launch. I can get you into some of those, so keep that in mind as well if you're interested in that. And I do share all my trades and stuff in the Discord, so keep that in mind. But that's pretty much what I got for this video, guys. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next video.